It's March 13th, 2022. I'm watching something called This Week with George Stephanopoulos. It has an interesting connotation in it. First of all, here at the moment, unrest in the American Revolutionary War, kind of, sort of, but not really on paper, that they sent home from school for my son. Now, there's a woman on here this week. They mentioned something I never heard before. They say something about red line. I'm not clear. I don't have a clear definition on what that means at the moment. I'm sure somebody does somewhere. But this is the way, and like it says on here, Biden sending troops to Ukraine is World War III. But why would you send troops away when there's defending, like in New York? I would need whatever, if we go with another video that I saw earlier this week, that the 55 SS mentioned as a vocabulary word, if there's such a thing as Cossack here in New York, I would need them. Why? I mean, I've been putting up just how much confusion there is in the area with all this lax in, I don't know, do you say it like in the radio music industry? I mean, it says the last three letters of music are sick. And they come in really on the radio like,
Is there more that the United States can be doing? I mean, it is striking to see the President of the United States take something off the table over and over again and not even draw, no red lines if Putin were to use chemical or biological weapons.
Well, it's really interesting, and I liken it to your house is on fire, you see the fire truck across the border, and they're not coming over to help you. And so that level...
I thought that was one of the best hometown analogies ever. And she says she's dressed nice. She says it so nicely. Sometimes I get caught up in the moment of I'm just so angry to be this disfigured and stuck in this disgusting situation. But I think that she did a really good job voicing it that way.
Level of frustration that we see as Americans, that level of frustration that they obviously feel in Ukraine is there. So the question is, why make blanket universal statements that, here's my line. He's drawn a red line. It's NATO countries. That's his red line. And that has given incredible permission for the ability to move in. There's people who have been watching Putin for a long time who will argue we are already in World War III. So this idea that there is no, we're not going to provoke World War III, they believe we're already there and that we're...
It seems to me she's a very intelligent woman. She must be in some intelligence community or intelligence network that educates her very well. She's very well versed. I don't have the same level of, I don't know, opportunity, I suppose, or access to the same level that she has. I don't know why. Again, it's unbeknownst to me.
We're simply capitulating for no good reason when we could be stopping it right here. Of course, the president is the president, and this is a war-weary country, and you saw the sustained effort in Afghanistan and Iraq and what that meant. And so the question is, where do you send the message that there is there is help coming in a greater form than what we're doing right now. Not just money, but that I think the signal this week was on the fighter jets, and that's incredibly frustrating for people who are watching it because it didn't seem like that was an escalation beyond what we would expect to do to help the Ukrainians.
And the issue there, Mary, was the United States didn't want to be involved in delivering the fighter jets to Ukraine. He got some blowback on Capitol Hill, including from Democrats.
Yeah, he did. And I think because so many people share in this frustration, which is, and even the administration was initially open to this idea of sending these fighter jets from Poland into Ukraine, it's a logistical challenge for this White House. And they were, I can tell you, completely caught off.
They were completely caught off guard.
When Poland came out and
Yes, we have.
transferring them through.
I've seen when they ask for help in the schools and the hospitals, what guard they're sending in. The guard they're sending in looks very much like this. Are you ready? Which I don't understand either. I'm in a very confirmed rock, paper, scissors area. Rock wall matches the paper for profile. And when asked for support for teaching in the schools or in the hospitals with this COVID virus thing that's going on, they sent in this.
I know I'm gay when you were in high school.
Once I figured it out, it was like I had to tell everybody.
That's not it.
A fan heckling Naomi Osaka at a tennis tournament in California, bringing the four-time major champion to tears. After the first game of the match, a woman shouted an insult from the stands. Osaka asked the chair umpire if the fan could be kicked out, but was denied. She ultimately lost the match and was visibly upset.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. What I don't understand is they get a tennis racket, they get a tennis, some racket, they get on the court, they start playing, and then all of a sudden that voice makes them think like they're something more than what the others have already denounced them to be. So it becomes really frustrating when these individuals pop up and start acting out of the much needed safety protocol. Because like a sponsor of theirs, I mean, why? I don't understand. And then later in this program, it shows, I just realized the way that they said it this morning, there's this thing in New York City, one of the sports arenas. It's called Madison Square Garden. Now, it's spelled mad. Son. And then it has the word garden. Like, what's growing in the garden? Right, yeah, I've seen the ratios of what they're allowing to play and have large voices. It tends to be part of the problem of my disappearing rock and paper profiles in the surrounding areas, in some unannounced whatever they're doing over here in the 22ZZ area. It becomes a little difficult to watch all of this. I mean, they live like kings, this one. And then when somebody wants to voice the truth of whatever it is that they whatever, it sits down and it cries and it gets pampered more and catered to more, and it's a real problem. I don't know why these things even begin or take off. It's not a trend I think is healthy for those that live by genetic security, and I really don't want to have to be a recluse. I would like to be amongst not things that don't cause my eyes to be sore. but it feels like at some data banking pie chart where some are a lot more, they have a lot more slices of the pie in their one-time modern art piece than perhaps the rest of us. It's concerning.
And was visibly
And here's her
upset
voice,
as she
ready?
addressed the crowd.
I've gotten heckled before, like it didn't really bother me.
So she wanted the person removed out of the stadium. The stadium said, absolutely not. Not honoring that. Not now, not ever. And now they gave her a microphone so she could say whatever she wanted to the crowd on her own behalf.
But it's like heckled here. Like I've watched a video of Venus and Serena getting heckled here, and
See, because someone told them that something changed. Like everything just went away. The world is now more accepting and loving. No, it's not. In fact, it's grown more dangerous. And catering to this is really dangerous. And then, because of stupid tennis stars that get a voice that should have never been, I get headlines like this one.
Continue on Eyewitness News this Sunday morning, a sexual harassment scandal at CBS leading to the firing of several executives. Why one regional manager in New Jersey is at the center of the probe. Plus, we're not done with winter just yet.
Oh my God, CBS. I wonder what that could mean on phase 2 of VS. Now, this was interesting for Clover, because I miss him terribly. I just found out there's some Clover Stadium in some place I've never visited called Port St. Lucie. Has something to do with the Mets. Again, yeah, we met. But this guy, he plays on the Mets. I don't think we've met because he's got this very interesting, like my eyes change one at a time, but in a varying science project. But his, I don't know if they stay the same that way, but I found it very interesting, and I'm not alone.
Negotiating the deal. But even he admitted he didn't want to talk about the ugly details.
These are nasty fights. This is business baseball. Yeah, it's ugly. There's no other way to say it. And so you have to say things and do things that represent all players and to fight for the most you can.
So now that the lockout is behind him, he's ready to focus on baseball. Scherzer will make up one of the, if not the best 1-2 punch in the game with Jacob deGrom.
He's the reason I'm here. Like, I want to be here and pitch with great pitchers. And he's obviously one of them.
Scherzer was one of 4 major acquisitions by...
I don't know what these words mean. The humans, they talk. It's a lot of whatever this is. But they do say something interesting about an 86 World Series. Not quite sure what that means, but it does seem significant.
The Mets before the lockout, and word is they may not be done making moves. That's good news to Brandon Nimmo, who says he has one thing on his mind.
Every year, all I hear about is the 69, Mets and...
69 Mets, right. Yeah. No, we had special task force meeting at 69 West Row Boulevard in a kind of, sort of, but not really way. It must have been something to do with the Canadian thing that I can barely remember. That I walk into a whatever, but it is a painful existence being here, and to keep going down that way and then waking up and you have no idea what the hell's going on.
And the 86 Mets, and so I want to be one of those teams. I want to be one of those teams that brings the World Series back, and I think that would...
I don't know what they think the World Series is, though. I mean, I'm not quite sure what I'm not sure at the moment. Now, this is interesting. I don't know. Oh, it says MSG. So this is part of what's growing in the garden. They have NHL.
I guess for Brett, and he makes it count. came down to the rookie keeper, Nico Dawes, making one more stop, and he stonewalls Troy Terry 2-1. The Devils win at home. 2 weeks into the regular season, NYC FC.
Now, this one's interesting because this looks like something to do with baseball because it has the yes, which I thought was Yankees. The problem is this Yankee thing went with an MLS, and then, I didn't even know they opened soccer in New York. Again, the intelligence network and community here is horrific. They don't invite me in, they don't speak to me, they don't tell me when decision and planning boards are meeting. Things just happen, and I'm like, when did that happen?
They
and
get
why?
to celebrate their MLS Cup victory.
Why do they keep promoting and celebrating all of the wrong whatever when they're not actually succeeding in? There's a I need this